What's going on, guys? Chris here with 4K Motoring, and today we have the new Google Pixel 6 Pro. So as you guys may know from this channel, I've mentioned it before, I've been using the Pixel 3 XL for the last 3 years or so since it came out. I bought it right at launch, and this has been an awesome phone. One of the big selling points for this phone was obviously the pure Android, the camera system, and the fact that it came with a guaranteed 3 years of updates. Well, for those of you that have found yourself in the same boat that ordered one of these Pixel 3s or 3 XLs, our 3 years is up. We did not get this November update because our 3 years are over, and we've seen the last of the relevance of these phones, I believe. So Google's promise with this, the 6 Pro, is going to be that it's going to have 3 years of OS updates, so it'll stay reasonably updated for 4 years now, and it'll keep the software, the security updates, going for 5 years. So reasonably you could keep this phone for 4 or 5 years. 4 years to stay on the most recent operating system, 5 years total, and that is awesome. Now when it comes to the phone itself, the Pixel 3 XL, when it came out as $899, whereas the Pixel 6 Pro starts at $899. That alone I find to be pretty awesome that they're able to keep the same price point, and the technology in this thing, I'm sure you've seen some videos, is absolutely next world. Now before we get into the Pixel 6 Pro and its features, I want to first kind of remind you of the Pixel 3 XL that I've been using for a while that you guys may be using, so we kind of know how the 6 compares. So the Pixel 3 XL, which is what this one is, this is the larger of the two versions, has a 6.3 inch screen. It has a 12 megapixel single camera on the back, and it has a 3400 milliamp hour battery in it. For me, I've been able to get this phone through a full day of usage, just varying use day to day, and I usually have around 30% or greater at the end of the night. So I'll preface that by saying I do often have this on a charger, and it's not that I have it on a fast charger or plugged in most of the time, but all my vehicles have a wireless charger mount that the phone sits in, and I have wireless charging pads kind of throughout the house. For the most part, they're all just the 5-watt ones. They're, at least that this phone allows charging. So it's not like it's a huge bump in power for them, but they do get quite a bit of time on those throughout the day, just kind of maintenance charging, not necessarily being topped off. But with that, I'm able to get a full day out of this phone, no problem. I don't know if I've ever had it die on me during a day. So I'll go ahead and say that there. This phone has a capacitive fingerprint scanner on the back that Pixels have been famous for a long time. They got rid of them on the 4 and then realized they need to bring them back on the 5. And that has been actually kind of the perfect placement. It's been awesome. If you have a smartwatch or something like that, the phone has the smart lock feature on it, so you don't really need, other than to unlock it at the beginning of the day, you generally don't need to unlock it. It stays unlocked, but that is there. It's been pretty nice. And so far, I mean, it's just 60 hertz, but you guys can see it seems very fast to me. There's no point where I notice any stuttering. When I open an app, when I open an app, it's slight delay, but it's there. I don't have any issues with anything on it. So I'm very excited to see what the 6 Pro will do to continue this in the future. Just one point to make for you guys. I've seen a lot of criticism online over the buttons on the Pixels. You can see the power button and volume rocker on the right side of the Pixel 3 here. This is the way Pixel's always done it. It's not new for the 6 Pro to be in that orientation. Apple's the other way. Samsung kind of splits more towards Apple-like in terms of button placement. Pixels have always been this way. If you're a Pixel user, you're familiar with it, it's not any different. So now we will get to the unboxing of the Pixel 6 Pro. You guys have probably seen this 100 times. I won't spend a lot of time on it, but here we go. This is the Pixel 6 Pro in cloudy white. This is the 256 gigabyte version, so one step up from the base, and it was right at that $999 level. Obviously this phone starts at $899 for the 128 gigabyte version and goes up $100 for each bump in memory from there. The Pixel 6 is a pretty astounding deal. It's $599 technically. You can get the unlocked version, and most kind of global versions $599 for the base 128 gigabyte version. But if you get the Verizon version, it comes with the millimeter wave 5G band, 5G chip in it, the modem, and that bumps you up $100, so it's $699 from Verizon. So if you get the Verizon Pixel 6, $699 versus $899 for the Pixel 6 Pro, $200 difference, and you'll see why when we open it up. There it is, our cloudy white Google 6 Pro. We have a little pull tab on the bottom that releases it. And guys, here's our phone. For those of you that haven't seen what's in the box, all you get is a USB Type-C to USB Type-C charging cord. You have a USB-A to USB-C little dongle here. And you have some paperwork, just quick start guide and a SIM insertion tool is all you have. And that is your total contents. There is no charger, no fast charging brick, no Pixel stand. This is what you get. They say for e-waste, but obviously it's just a cost saving measure for you. One last thing to note about my Pixel 3 XL, it got the Android 12 update. So you can see kind of that Android 12 look. That was the last OS this phone is going to get, but it has it. So Android 12 is what the Pixel 6 ships with, so they should be very similar as far as that goes. It should be a very easy transition. Obviously, the Pixel 6 Pro has a 6.7 inch screen as opposed to the 6.4 inch in the regular Pixel 6. It's got our 3 cameras on the back. It's got a very nice build quality. Obviously, both these phones are glass front and back with aluminum around. The Pixel 3 I found to be a very good looking phone. Pixel 6 seems, at least the Pro series, seems a bit much as far as its build quality. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. I'm putting a case on it. Both the phones are glass back, glass front. If you carry one without a case, that seems kind of stupid in my opinion. So you do you, but I'm going to keep this in a case. So although it's very impressive, the build quality, it's going to be covered up. So feel free to share your thoughts as far as that goes. That's how mine will be. So I'm going to go ahead and power this up. I'll let you guys know my first impressions there. Like I said, 6.7 inch screen as opposed to 6.4. And it's got a 5003 milliamp hour battery. So I'm hoping for much better battery life. I know I've heard mixed things on the internet. Obviously, the different influencers from different time frames have said different things. I'll be sure to let you guys know my experiences so you can make your own decision on this device. Let's go ahead and start it up for the first time. We'll hold that power button down, and there we go. It comes to life. So for those of you that have had the Pixel 3 series, both the XL and the regular, feel free to let me know what your thoughts on it are. I've been very happy with it. It's been nothing but great to me so far. And for the size comparison, you'll see the 6 Pro is ever so slightly taller when they're even on the bottom. Width is basically identical. For all intents and purposes, the Pixel 6 Pro is the same size as a Pixel 3 XL. So while this is setting itself up, I will say the curved screen was not something I was a big fan of. I don't particularly like the idea of a curved screen. I don't know why people go with it other than just aesthetically to have a smaller bezel, smaller appearing bezel. I know screen protectors are much harder to put on that way, and I'm just not a huge fan. On the discussion of the glass phones needing cases, Yes, glass phones are slippery. Smooth polished surfaces are slippery. They're very fragile because it's glass front and back. I know it's Gorilla Glass. The 6 Pro is the Gorilla Glass Victus, which is their newest type, which is more scratch resistant, but it's still glass. I don't care how much ceramic you add to it. Glass will be glass. It will still shatter the same. So I've had one of the OtterBox Commuter Series cases on my last phone, which makes it a little bit bigger, but it's been very durable. I went ahead and ordered 2 different cases for the 6 Pro, so I'll kind of let you know my thoughts on them, just to find something that was similar that would protect it in kind of the same way. Okay, at this point, it's giving me the message to transfer data from old phone to new phone. It should do it all from the Google account it's backed up to. I've gotten replacement phones in the past that have done that, but this is what it's asking for, so I'll go ahead and hopefully that makes it a little bit easier. And as you see, everything's going along there. So what I hope to do for you guys here in the future is I've got about a week, I think 15 days they said, to keep my Pixel 3 before I send it back. And I plan to do some comparison stuff for you guys. If there's anything in particular you'd want to see compared from one to the others to help you make your decision, let me know and I'll make sure I get that done. The deal I got for the Pixel 6 that Verizon currently has at launch is when you trade in your Pixel 3 series. It might include older phones as well. I don't know that to be sure. I do know the 3 series. When you trade in your 3, you get $350 off of the 6 Pro. And that is by far the most you're going to get for any of the Pixel 3 series. So I went ahead and did that. So if you get, as I did, the upgraded memory, this is a $1,000 phone, $999. I get $350 off as part of a bill credit, and that has been one of the better deals I think is available on these. Obviously, if you wait, you might get something later on, as often happens. But as I remember when I bought the Pixel 3 series, I bought it actually the day before it was supposed to come out, and I didn't get any deals on that, and I still wanted it. So that's the part of being an early adopter. So I ordered this phone when it came out, and that was on the 19th, right when the Pixel was very first announced during their press release. I ordered this one. I kind of wanted the gray, but as you guys know, the apps were being glitchy, the websites were being glitchy. I ended up with the white. I did get the 256 gigabyte version just because I have 4 gigabytes left on my 64 gigabyte Pixel 3, and if I wanted this to last potentially 4 years or so, I knew that was going to be a worthy upgrade. So I went ahead and got that. I ordered it that day. I had my initial shipping estimate that it'd be delivered on the 25th when these were supposed to be delivered to everybody, when they were, I guess, released or available. And the 25th came and went, and I never got any shipping notifications, and I was kind of frustrated like everybody else with it being delayed and not sent out. A couple days later, I got my shipping confirmation, and it arrived today about mid-afternoon on November 2nd is when I got my phone. Has the SIM already installed in it, so that's just kind of my time frame for whatever it's worth for you guys. One thing I've observed just by watching the phones here, just doing this data transfer process, my Pixel 3 XL has lost about 12% battery, and the Pixel 6 Pro doesn't seem to have changed much. It's not showing me a percentage, but the battery bar hasn't seemed to move. So for just comparison's sake, I'm hoping that this 5,003 milliamp hour battery and this Tensor processor, once it kind of figures out everything updates and it kind of learns my usage, hopefully it's going to give me at least noticeably improved battery life over the 3 series. All right, well, it appears that the device transfer has about been complete. I've got little circles, if you can see, around a lot of my apps as they are now downloading from the Play Store onto this phone. The phone itself has gotten decently warm, especially this metal frame. You can feel there's a good bit of heat. One thing I assume you guys have seen some of the reviews, MKHB, some of the big YouTube tech reviewers have mentioned the poor battery life on this phone, and especially when it comes to doing video recording and gameplay and stuff that's really using this Tensor core. I'm not going to go into a lot of details on the Tensor chip, but it has 2 of those really high power cores that most other processors, other phones only have 1. And I'm assuming that's probably one of the reasons that some people see a lower battery performance, a quicker consumption, is when they're doing things that utilize both cores heavily, it's going to suck out that battery, or be able to suck out that battery a whole lot faster. So it's letting me use it. I can send texts and that sort of thing right now. It's got about 130 applications that it has to download and update. So I'll go ahead and let that finish up. I'll get you guys a couple sample photos just to compare apples to apples. The Pixel 3 running Android 12 to the Pixel 6 running Android 12. We'll get kind of the same lighting conditions, same pictures. I'll put them up side by side. That'll be about all the content I have for you guys today. Again, I'm going to try and get this up as quickly as I can. In the comments, if there's anything you guys want to know about it, anything you want to compare directly from one to the other to help make your decision or keep you informed, please let me know, and I'll do my best to bring that to you. Like I said, I've got a couple days where I can keep this one before I've got to send it back. So I tend to do as much as I can with it until then, so feel free to post your ideas below. And with that, here's a couple comparison photos for you to look at. Let me know what you think. Like I said, compare the photos, let me know what you think. Again, leave me some comments, let me know what you want to see different between the two, what questions you have. I'll let you know my impressions with it after a couple days using it. And as always, thanks for watching 4K Motor. We'll be back with some automotive stuff. Stay tuned and please subscribe.